on this week's episode of RamZ's Hoosier Pawn.
I mean, I don't think we're super far off. I actually, when I was looking through the tubs that you had brought in, Jonas and I had a chance to look through them, and it looks like everything's in original packaging.
But in acquiring the weight here, you had almost 100 ounces of silver between the two sets, and based upon the current market level, we would offer you.
It's always extremely important that you have a picture of every piece of jewelry that you own. If you don't have, and you lose something or it's stolen, what are you going to do? How are you going to describe it?
My name is Jim, and I brought in some prison art today to see if Randy would be interested in trying to sell it for us.
This is Randy RamZ, and this is his pawn store. He works here with his wife Melanie, sons Corey and Chad, and daughter Amanda. Many items here have a unique story. And after 25 years in the business, he's learned that you never know what's coming through the door next. This is RamZ's Hoosier Pawn.
So this is another item that Dad bought. It is a Frederick Remington. I don't think it's one of the original castings. Remington was licensed to recast these, so it's something that Dad bought. Hopefully we'll be able to sell it for tons of money, and we'll be able to shut down the store and never have to work again.
Exactly.
He'll just give us some residuals. Yeah, it'll be great.
Hey, this is perfect. We get to show this because I just happen to be wearing my woolly chaps.
Oh yes, nice.
Yeah.
That's fine, but at least if you've got it, it'll be nice.
Hi, I'm Dusty, and I brought in my Transformer collection. I'm hoping to get about $500 off of the entire collection.
Hey, how's it going today?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, doing wonderfully. So you brought us a big grouping of Transformers today.
Yeah, I did.
This is just a little representation of what you brought in, but I wanted to bring out a few of the sampling. We got a chance to look through this a little bit, and we were just talking about how we had just recently we had gotten about 133 of the vintage Transformers in. Yeah. It was like some were out of package and some were in package. These are all a little bit newer, but we have had some of this stuff come in too and have a few items in. In fact, I think I've got this one in-house right now. So is this something you're thinking you want to sell today?
Yeah, I'm wanting to sell the whole bunch of them.
Okay. The entire group, and do you have an idea what you think you want to get out of them?
About 500.
Okay. I mean, I don't think we're super far off. I actually, when I was looking through the tubs that you had brought in, Jonas and I had a chance to look through them, and it looks like everything's in original packaging. I think that I didn't see anything that really had any major spots. A couple of tape things were sliced, and some of the boxes had some issues. And I don't know if everything will move in our local area, but Jonas and I have found some stuff where, found some local as well as just out of state online stuff that we're able to find some connections that way. So I think we possibly could transfer that, be able to sell some of it that way and some of it in-house. Based off of what my count was and what we looked up, just with a real quick overview, we were looking some things up earlier today too, just on Transformers, and have a general idea of where we would like to be. I think probably on this group, I would probably want to be about $375 cash or about $450 on a trade. Is that something you'd want to do any trading on today, or do you just think you need the cash?
No, I'd take the cash.
Okay, alrighty. I think we would love to go ahead and buy those. It's something that we are able to move on a regular basis. So
okay.
We'll get you written up for the $375. And Jonas, do you mind writing him up?
No problem.
All right, great. All right, thanks a lot for coming in today.
Thanks.
All right.
I didn't get exactly what I wanted for the Transformer collection, but I got a very good, very fair price, and I'm happy with it.
Coming up next on RamZ's Hoosier Pawn. This is RamZ's Emporium.
Would you like to be on an upcoming episode of RamZ's Hoosier Pawn?
Our goal is to showcase unique and collectible treasures from the Lafayette area.
It could be an item that you want to sell, trade, or get a loan on.
So bring your item to RamZ's Emporium anytime during regular store hours.
If your item is chosen, you'll be contacted for a later taping.
Meet us at RamZ's Emporium.
205 Farraby Drive North.
You never know what's coming through the door next.
Amanda, you never know what's going to come in the door next. This is a beautiful wristwatch as you look at it, but as you check it out closer, it actually is a half-ounce platinum coin called an eagle. And what they did was they took the coin, they sliced it perfectly in half of it became the dial, and half of it became the back of the watch. But it's actually a half-ounce platinum coin.
So you're gonna give that to me?
You better believe it.
Yes! You're the best dad ever.
We have a variety of other wristwatches, all brands. We have a selection of brand new Citizen watches. We have Rolex watches. We have antique watches. We have other designer watches. Check us out if you have an interest in wristwatches and even pocket watches. We probably have 1,000 pocket watches in stock right now.
Hi, I'm Ken. I'm here at RamZ's today to sell my silver flatware. I'm hoping that the price of silver is up, and I'm hoping that they'll bring a decent price today. I've done a lot of business with RamZ's, and I trust them a lot. So let's go see what we can get.
Well, hello, Ken.
Randy.
Hi, Ken.
Good to see you again.
Nice to see you. Amanda?
Yeah, some people, if they watched our programs, they'll notice that you're the person that has done some of our refurbishing on some of our taxidermy work, and one of the biggest projects you did was for a water buffalo.
Absolutely.
So, and we've had a lot of good comments on that.
Oh, we appreciate that.
What have you brought us today?
Today I've come to see you. My wife's family is part of her family's retiring.
Okay.
And they sold their farmhouse, and they were getting rid of some of their antiques. And my wife went down to help them. And this is something that we found in one of the trunks.
Oh, wow.
And I thought I'd bring it to you and see what you could tell me about
flatware. Let me have you check that, Amanda, and I'll take a look here. Normally what we do when we get a set like this, predominantly they are silver plated. Well, this particular one is marked sterling. How about yours?
Yep.
Okay.
Sterling silver right there.
It looks like everything is the same pattern here, and if that's all the same pattern, you've got 2 sets of sterling silver flatware.
Yep.
Which means it's 92.5% pure. What we typically would do is go ahead and dump those out.
Okay.
And what we would do is try to pull out any of the, normally the main knife handles. Now, butter knives are solid silver through and through, whereas your table knife has a stainless steel blade normally. Sometimes some of the older sets will have a nickel blade and silver plated blade, but then it has a steel shaft that goes down inside, and then they'll fill this handle. They can fill it with plaster, they can fill it with tar, they can fill it with cement, and so we normally pull those out that you still have some weight there, but not the total weight because of it being like that. So
that would be in the pie server also?
That also would be that way.
They're really fun to destroy.
Yes.
Are they?
Yeah, until you cut yourself. That's not fun.
Typically, what we would do is sort all the knife handles out because of them being filled with some kind of non-silver material. And then once we do that, then we'll get a weight on what the silver is left. There are some designs that will bring a premium. There are some designs that are fairly common. These 2 patterns happen to be a little more common. So what we can do it a couple ways. We can take a moment and take it on over to our larger scale and weigh a large quantity, or you can take a single fork, multiply how many forks there are. I think the quickest way would be just for us to take a moment and go over and get a weight, and then we'll get back with you here in just a second.
Sounds awesome, Randy.
Okay. Typically what we would do is get a weight, which we just now got a weight, and then we would check whatever the silver spot price is doing, and then based upon that we have obviously a little profit margin built into it. But if a person decides to, and I know we had talked about possibly doing some trading, it would be a little higher level. But what we would attempt to do is try to sell it as a set of flatware, and what typically will happen is we'll have several sets over a period of weeks, and then we decide to ship them off or sell them to a silver buyer. But in acquiring the weight here, you had almost 100 ounces of silver between the two sets, and based upon the current market level, we would offer you about $1,600.
I think that's awesome, Randy. I think that my aunt and uncle on my mom or my wife's side would be very pleased with that, and I'm sure that money will help them out moving into a new home like they are.
Very good. We had one of the other companies in town have someone take just a single set, and it was a little bit larger set, and we would have given them $1,000 for it, and they only were offered $50. So I think what we've offered you is pretty competitive.
Plus you like us, so.
That's something I know. It's, you know, in doing business with you in the past, knowing an honest person to work with, I had no question where I was taking my antiques to when it came time to sell them, and that was with you.
All right, thank you very much. So is it something you want to do? Go ahead and sell
I think
then?
so. I think that my wife's aunt and uncle will be really pleased with that amount of money, and I think it will help them out. So
very good. Well, I'm going to have our daughter step over and do a paid out for you, so she'll need a little bit of information, but we appreciate seeing you and bringing it in again.
Good to see you too, Randy. Amanda, thank you.
Hey Chad, we got this letter in from Susan, and I thought maybe you'd want to hear what it has to say.
Great.
I wanted to let you know how thankful I am for your business. Last year, my husband had emergency surgery, and due to his inability to work, our bills were stacking up. I came into your business and asked if I could receive a loan for personal items I have. Even though I didn't need to give a reason, the RamZ's Emporium showed compassion and understanding about what people go through in life. You didn't give any pressure to receive a loan for larger. You wanted me to be able to receive my personal items back. You are a great business that puts the needs of others first, and I'm truly grateful. Isn't that neat?
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's always nice to hear back from customers that we've been able to help them out in the community and with whatever need that they have.
Absolutely.
Coming up next on RamZ's Hoosier Pawn. This is Randy Ramsey, and this is RamZ's Emporium. He works here with his sons Corey and Chad. You never know what's coming through the door next.
Brand new lever action Henry Big Boy 44 Magnum.
Make your worries disappear with a magic trick.
An 1864 Civil War document with Abraham Lincoln's name on it.
If you're looking for one-of-a-kind items, go to RamZ's on North Farabee Drive, Lafayette.
This is RamZ's Emporium, where you never know what's coming through the door next.
As you might well see here, we have a selection of Hummels. We used to be able to sell every piece that came in the door. We had a few collectors. As soon as we get 3 or 4 in, they were gone. Now we have several hundred Hummels that
Should I count these like I did the paintings the other day?
Yeah, one time, a couple programs ago, I said we had about 100 framed pictures, and she counted them, and there was 500. But we have several hundred Hummels available. If you're a Hummel collector, you might want to stop in and check out our selection. As we price these, for those of you that are Hummel collectors, you'll know that you need to look not only at the bottom that gives the number so that you can find its location and price, but also the style of the stamp. The oldest ones actually have a honeybee, and it's a full, what they call a full bee, but they'll have different steps of designs from 1 through 6, and the later ones are less and less valuable. There are some people that will only collect the very earliest ones, but each one of these are very collectible. They're kind of like the precious moments. Each one will have a name, and each one has a different design, and there are people that will find one that fits just the niche that they have to give that gift for, or if they're collecting a particular style, they have a variety to choose from.
I like the Hummels, but I've never started to collect them. Remember when we did the Precious Moments before?
Yes.
That's my favorite.
Yes.
These are beautiful, though.
And she has a few of those.
We were in that part of the world, in Germany, where they were
in Switzerland.
pretty much in Switzerland, where they were created, and it was. I would love to go back there someday.
They
It
have
was beautiful.
they not only have figurines, but they do have dolls. They have plates. They have just a number of different items that are Hummel, and they have different styles. This particular one is probably the most collectible, but they have some that have different styles of faces, but you'll find a few antique dealers that do get into Hummels. One explained it to me this way: if it was sold as a collectible, we're not interested. We're only interested in antiques that have become antiques because of the age. But these are very collectible.
Now, was there a transition with Hummels like there was with Precious Moments? Because I know they've sort of evolved through the years to be more colorful than they were when they first started off.
Like
Was
I
that
said,
true of Hummels?
Well, this particular style of Hummel, they all have similar faces, and they've carried that through. But there are other styles of Hummels that have been put out by other family members that have a different look to them.
Okay. Got it.
Coming up next on RamZ's Hoosier Pawn. This is Randy Ramsey, and this is RamZ's Emporium. He works here with his wife Melanie and his daughter Amanda. You never know what's coming through the door next.
Platinum, diamond, and sapphire brooch, 1 3/4 carat center diamond.
A Dan Patch harness racing pocket watch.
A brand new Coach handbag in leather and coated canvas.
If you're looking for one-of-a-kind items, go to RamZ's on North Farabee Drive in Lafayette.
Here at RamZ's, you never know what's going to come through the door next.
We have a number of lamps that we have purchased, ceiling lamps as well as table lamps. This particular design is referred to as a Gone with the Wind style, and this is also hand painted. Sometimes you'll find them where the upper globe has been broken and it doesn't match the lower. This is all the original. Some of these, this particular one I think has always been electric, but some of the older ones are converted from a kerosene or some kind of a fluid into an electricity powered one, so we find them in all kinds of conditions. You were just mentioning there's something to me about concerns about things like this.
Yeah, a lot of people bring in items like this, and unfortunately, sometimes on the way in the door, people break things. So I would, make sure if you're going to bring stuff into a shop like ours, pack it well. Make sure you take good care of it, because if you damage it on the way in or break it, obviously it's takes quite a bit of the value of it and may be worthless at that time.
I thought it was interesting with your comment, because I had a pair of almost acorn-shaped lamps. They were ceiling lamps with long chains come in, and they had 4 images of women painted, and they would have gone in a hallway. And I sold them to a dealer, and a few months later he came back and I said, "How did you do with the lamps?" And his comment was, when he took a hold of the chains and lifted them up out of his car, they swung and hit, and he completely exploded one of them. So you do need to be careful with lamps. But if you have an interest in ceiling lamps, or a desk lamp, or a lamp that you need for one of your tables, feel free to stop in and take a look. Or if you have an unusual one at home, feel free to stop in and see if we're interested.
My name is Jim, and I brought in some prison art today to see if Randy would be interested in trying to sell it for us.
Hi, Jim.
Hi, Randy.
Good to have you.
Chad.
Hi, Jim.
We see you fairly often, a couple times a week. Yeah, we normally have you stop in and sell pennies and or buy some pennies even from us. I think you were telling that you sold how many to one guy?
My first collection was 1,200,000, and I bought several thousand from you.
I think so.
And I've sold that many more since then.
Well, we had something exciting happening last week with you. You stopped in and you took a penny out of your wallet.
Yes.
And you handed me the penny, but I didn't see what you did with your wallet. And after I took it and bought it from you, apparently you went to put your wallet away, and at the same time it fell out. But we didn't know that, and you couldn't remember for sure, so you went out to your car looking for it.
Yes.
And then I think you ended up going home and...
Yeah, I was thinking maybe I forgot. A lot of times I have left it at home. Well, but after looking 3 or 4 hours for it, we were sitting at the table, me and my wife, and was really depressed over losing it because all my papers and stuff I'd carried some of for 30 years.
Well, even cash.
Yes, and I had somewhere around $1,000 in it. But anyway, it dawned on me, I had to have that billfold in at Randy's because I opened the billfold and give Randy the penny out of it.
Wow.
So then I called right away, and the whole family started looking, and they pulled their surveillance cameras down. And sure enough, they had the whole deal on the camera.
Yeah. We saw the wallet fall and hit the floor, and it was just like that. A woman walked by.
Yes, gal. I was one who went through the video and looked, and we had watched this gal walk right by, reach down, grab it, and walk right out the door with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But fortunately, we knew who she was, so we were able to get the police involved right away, and they were able to find the wallet and get most of the money back, I think, weren't they? Or?
Yes. And she threw my wallet and my stuff in a trash bin, and the cop told me that he had to go in that old dirty bin to get my stuff.
Well, you had a lot of people looking out for you that day.
Yes. And if it wasn't for you folks, I'd never found out what happened to it.
So what did your wife do to your wallet since then?
She got me a new wallet for one thing, and she put
a clip on
it, and I'm supposed to keep it fastened to my pocket, but then when I sit on your stool, I'm supposed to fasten it to my shirt. She put a clip on it.
Oh, okay.
And she made me promise that I would use it.
Well, they're taping you right now, so if you drop it on the floor, we'll be able to find it again.
Yeah, and if we see Chad pick it up, he's in trouble. That lady's still in jail as far as I know.
Yeah. Well, today is something different here. You came in earlier today and said you had some of this, and you brought it here this evening. What exactly is this?
Well, a friend of mine has been in prison for over 30-some years. But anyway, he makes these items out of toilet paper. It's all toilet paper. There's nothing else there.
It almost feels like wood.
Yes, and he gets the wood coloring by using coffee.
Yeah, this brown colors.
And this brown color's there, but the whole thing is nothing but toilet paper.
So you've got some of them in lighthouse designs, and this is like a gazebo, and this is a wishing well.
And he's got lighthouses and wishing wells and stuff about that big around too.
I think they call it prison art, right?
Right. Up at Marquette, Michigan, they have a shop when you enter, and it belongs to the prison, and they put their things out there. And he used to sell this boat for $300, and he couldn't make them fast enough.
Oh, okay.
But now he's cut the price down to $150, and he makes another one just like that, just a little smaller. And so he spends months putting that thing together.
So you're interested in selling these then?
Yes, I told him I would try to sell them for him, and like I said, he's been in there most of his life, over half his life.
I think you and I had talked earlier that what we might do is at least get your money back for what you had to pay for it, and then that way if we sell some of these, you can get more of them and possibly not only sell some for him, but make a little bit of money yourself.
Yes.
Just in figuring what you had invested here, I think it was like $214. And I mentioned to you, if you had an interest, I know we do so much trading on coins. If you wanted to use it that way, you could, and I'd go a little stronger. But I don't know if you decided for sure what you wanted to do.
Yeah, you said you would go 230, and that's fine.
Okay. Well, we'll plan to do that.
If you get orders for it, when he calls me every couple of weeks, and I'm about the only one that gets up to see him anymore, but I can't make the trip anymore either.
They are very interesting, and you can tell that somebody has put a lot of time and effort into these, but I appreciate you bringing them in, and we hope that it will be beneficial for both of us.
Yes.
Very good.
Coming up next on RamZ's Hoosier Pawn. This is RamZ's Emporium.
Would you like to be on an upcoming episode of RamZ's Hoosier Pawn?
Our goal is to showcase unique and collectible treasures from the Lafayette area.
It could be an item that you want to sell, trade, or get a loan on.
So bring your item to RamZ's Emporium anytime during regular store hours.
If your item is chosen, you'll be contacted for a later taping.
Meet us at RamZ's Emporium.
205 Farabee Drive North.
You never know what's coming through the door next.
It's always extremely important that you have a picture of every piece of jewelry that you own. If you don't have, and you lose something or it's stolen, what are you going to do? How are you going to describe it? How are you going to get your insurance company to cover it? Those are all things that are really critical. We can do appraisals here with pictures on them. Even if you don't want to bring them to us, at least put them on a copy machine and make pictures of them. Everything that you've got. But if you bring it here and you do it, let us do an appraisal, it's going to have a value on it. It's going to have the size, the cut, the clarity. All that information will be included. You take that to your insurance company, and that's a great way to get your same item back. Now let's tell them about this.
This is a perfect example of that type of a situation. This woman lost her wedding set, and she actually had a picture from the wedding day taken. So she brought in the picture and we replicated the ring for her. I mean, I can't even explain how happy we make people on a daily basis by being able to make their jewelry again, or we even have in our book of things that we've done, a gentleman that passed away, that and everyone in their family, even the girls, they made a ring for their father in remembrance of him.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a really guy that really well known in town, and they all had those rings made, and they were very specific with heart-shaped stones. I mean, they were very particular about how they wanted it done, and they all looked beautiful.
I do remember that now. That's been a few years back, but that was just an example of some of the things that we've been able to do. And in the future, we're going to be talking about custom design. If you have something that you would like to have custom designed, we'll be talking to you a little bit about that as well. But this is just a really fantastic example of how if you get those pictures taken anytime, any place, anywhere, before something happens to them, you can definitely get them replaced, and we do replacement of jewelry. And then there's another great reason why appraisals are fantastic and really important, because if it's stolen, you've got proof what you had. This helps the police to nail somebody when they have stolen something from your home.
So this is another thing that Dad bought.
All right.
Yes. And I have no idea what else to say about it.
You know, it's heavy.
It is bronze.
Yeah, and
it's made by Remington.
What more can you?
We got to do something else.
We're killing it.
Is this a joke? You guys are this is real. Yeah, it'll be great.